Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, and welcome to the AC3 program with Archibald. Now, fuckers, I want to do the 5 greatest wristwatches of all time. The 5 greatest wristwatches of all time, bar none. These are the 5 greatest. Now, they're not necessarily the most expensive 5 wristwatches of all time, but they are dear. Quality costs a certain amount of money. You can't have shitters making up the best wristwatches of all time. A certain amount of money needs to be spent. Nothing can avoid the horrid truth about the fact that you need to spend some coin to get quality. Okay, fuckers, we're going to start off with the greatest wristwatch of all time. There can only be one number one spot. And fuckers, for me, this is universal. I've tried to deny it. I've tried to step around it. It's the Rolex Submariner. The Rolex Submariner is the greatest wristwatch of all time. It is probably the most recognized Rolex of all time. It is also probably the most recognized, the most desired, the most lusted after, the most popular, the greatest. And it's a sports watch. And the Rolex Submariner, how can it get any better? It doesn't matter if it's in two-tone, doesn't matter if it's in solid gold. It doesn't fucking matter if you've got a plastic version, a sapphire version. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's if it's a ceramic. Doesn't matter, fuckers. The only thing that matters is the Rolex Submariner is the greatest wristwatch of all time. And it's taken a while to come to this conclusion, but fuckers indeed. James Bond launched the watch in the first James Bond movie, and he had a poorly fitted NATO. Who would have thought a slightly undersized NATO would become the fashion accessory of the following century? The Rolex Submariner. It doesn't matter. It's two-tone. It doesn't matter date or no date. It doesn't matter solid gold. The thing is, the Rolex Submariner is the greatest wristwatch of all time. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get cooler. It is the greatest wristwatch of all fucking time, fuckers. The greatest. The next spot for the greatest wristwatch of all time, number 2 spot. What is it? Okay, fuckers. It involves a lunar expedition. The Omega Speedmaster Professional Man on the fucking Moon. That is the second greatest wristwatch of all time. The Omega Speedmaster Professional Man on the fucking Moon. The greatest wristwatch. Now, there's been so many incarnations over a long history. The Speedmasters had so many versions. There's the 321 movement. There's the 861. There's the 1861. They had special limited editions. Apollo, all these Apollo missions. They had the Alaska project. There are so many incarnations, flavors. But at the end of the day, fuckers indeed, the Omega Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon is the second greatest wristwatch of all time. It's a legend. It's iconic. It belongs in every serious collector's collection. The Omega Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon. It's needed. You need one. It's probably the greatest chronograph of all time. NASA did it before endorsements, before sponsorship deals, before nasty shit was going on. They said the Omega Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon was the one to have. Okay, Gearing up, fuckers. Gearing up. Gearing up, fuckers. The third greatest wristwatch of all time. It is the ArchieLuxury Reverso. It doesn't matter whether it's a steel, two-tone or gold. However, there's special bonus points for having a steel version because that is the original intended metal for this particular object. The object was released for snooty British polo players in India. It was to protect their timepiece when they were belting mallets around the field in the hot sun. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun and they were wearing a Reverso. Very cool piece. The essence of Art Deco quality and style. For God's sake, the king who abdicated, King Edward, he himself had a two-tone ArchieLuxury Reverso. And it's such a cool piece. Doesn't matter what flavor or incarnation. However, special bonus points will be given to people who have it in steel and with the manual wind movement. Special bonus points. The Reverso itself there, a rectangular wristwatch which has become an Art Deco design icon. And it went for a phase in the 70s and 80s where it wasn't so popular. Then it came back with a vengeance. Fist-punching vengeance. And the Reverso itself, because the case has so many parts, it's one of the icons which isn't copied as much as you would imagine. That's right. Fake Reversos are not as plentiful as other fake imitations of great brand names. The ArchieLuxury Reverso, originally released in 1931. Originally released in 1931. This is a design classic in the Art Deco flavor. The Art Deco flavor. And famous people who've had Reversos. General MacArthur, fuckers. General MacArthur, one of the greatest US military generals of all time. The ArchieLuxury Reverso, preferably in steel, preferably with the manual wind movement. This is a legendary timepiece for legendary people. This is the third greatest wristwatch of all fucking time. Of all fucking time, fuckers. You tell me. You give me the drum. You tell me. It's got legs. The Reverso has got legs. It's an icon. And it's preferably on a leather strap. Absolute design icon. The ArchieLuxury Reverso, fuckers. And the fourth greatest wristwatch of all time, it is the Panerai. That's right, fuckers. Panerai. What a surprise. Jesus, Archie, I didn't think you'd ever say that in a greatest 5 video. Yes, fuckers, the Panerai itself there. Panerai has released so many wonderful watches, and you'd have to be living inside an underwater diving bell not to have realized Panerai has changed the face of luxury sports watches. Luxury sports watches, and I don't care whether you've gone for steel, PVD or gold. Panerai is a player here to stay. Panerai, now you may say, yes, you're over the Panerai thing. Sure, I don't even own a Panerai, but fuckers indeed. Panerai is one of the greatest dive sports utilitarian wristwatches of all time. And there can be no greater than a Panerai. A Panerai! A Pam. Give me a Pam's 111 any day of the week with a black dial, box and papers, and I'm sold. I am absolutely sold on it. So I'm not going to be criticizing Panerai. It is one of the great sports pieces of all time. What a genre. The sports diver with a military background. The oversized sports watch on a rubber strap in the luxury genre. It had to happen, and I've seen the light. I've seen the light. I've spoken to Jesus. The Panerai is the piece to have, and whether you don't agree or do agree, the Panerai just needs a slot. It needs a slot. Needs a slot in the collection there, fuckers. Panerai. Well, fuckers, I was only joking. Fourth spot really belongs to the Rolex GMT. That's right, a piece designed with Pan Am. That's right, that's the magical American airline that was the first customer for the 707 and the 747 jumbo jet. Pan Am destroyed by the retirement fund, the 401k that killed the company, bankrupt in 1991. But the GMT Master 2, doesn't matter whether it's ceramic or it's the plastic version, the 1675, doesn't matter. The GMT is fourth spot. That's right, fuckers. It is the fourth spot contender. And I gotta tell you, there is nothing wrong with a Rolex GMT. It's one of the icons in the Rolex range. It's not as popular as the Sub. Yes, I can see. I can concede that. Yes, I can. I can concede that. Uncle Archie concedes that. However, fuckers, the GMT must be given a spot. I mean, the GMT, it's the watch that you can tell different time zones. What a wonderful piece. What a fantastic thing to have. And it's just amazing. And as much as I love my Explorer 2, it's the GMT that is the most famous, most spectacular GMT function piece of the last century. It is just such a cool complication to have. And I gotta be honest with you. Be honest. The GMT Master is one of the greatest sports Rolexes of all time. And it's also one of the greatest wristwatches of all time. So it's in the list, fuckers. It is in the list. And finally, fifth spot to the greatest wristwatch of all time. It goes to the Patek Philippe Grand Complication. The Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. What an amazing feat. This is very, very complicated piece. It knows leap years. It knows everything. And it features a new OMMANEY movement in this is the 3970 on the screen. Classic exhibition back and rose gold case. Does it get any sweeter? Does it get any grander than this piece here? The Patek Philippe Grand Complication. This is what the real moneyed fuckers have. This is the greatest non-famous wristwatch of all time, and I know it's number 5 slot. It came in last, but fuckers, this is it's like opera for turds. You can't polish a turd, fuckers. You cannot polish a turd. And with that said, I've reserved this last spot here for the Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. What a complication. This is a very, very difficult piece to make in such a small, compact space. And I'm sorry, it had to be included there. And there are people out there in the audience that don't understand this piece, which is fine. Go and Google it. Go and watch some of my old videos. And you fuckers go and tell me what you think. This is the conclusion to the 5 greatest watches of all time. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed presenting this series for you. I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, luxury goods guru, luxury goods expert, connoisseur of the best things in life. Tell me what you miserable, cheap, nasty vinyl fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid. Keep those Google ads coming, big boy. Cut!
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece, we adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.